Hey, everybody. Welcome to The Brink of Sanity podcast, episode 199. We have John back for the first time in a long time. How you doing, John?
Wow, it's been an incredibly long time. Do I sound all right?
You sound all right. You sound like you're on a phone. Why aren't you using your podcast?
Hey, John, this is Marc.
Wait.
What?
Well, we have to do it properly. So I would like now to introduce, very honored, the star of the Brink of Sanity podcast, the one who carries me because I am a talentless hack, Marc. Okay, that's Marc.
Good to be here. I was going to say before I was kindly interrupted by Jay with the music. John, it's nice to talk to you. I don't know if we've talked before, but this stuff about
analog, we have. It's been a long time, Marc.
It's been a long time. The stuff you said about analog and the equipment, I have no idea what you're talking about. But were you using a cup and string or?
Yes, exactly. That is what I was using. And I found that I could get a lot better reception, a lot better clarity if I had one of the digits on my hand I wasn't using the podcast in my bottom.
Fantastic. I am actually recording in my kitchen with the computer on top of the microwave because that's the only place in my apartment where I get decent internet reception and also the only place where I don't wake up my kids. So just pointing that out for
I think it's great that internet reception has gotten to the point of 1970s black and white rabbit ear reception on television. Yeah. I'm glad we're advancing at such a rapid pace.
I think they say like as far as the world, like they did rankings of like internet like speeds or accessibility, whatever it is. Like we're at 40th in the world as far as countries, right near like Liberia.
Awesome.
Like most random countries just have much better internet service than we do.
At least ours is really expensive, though.
Liberia only has 3 or 4 people, though, so you don't need as many cans or as long a string.
Right. Why can't we use our nuclear weapons to get better internet service?
Exactly, right.
If we're supposed to be the dominant, we rule the world, like, get us better internet service. We like Time Warner. Even if it's stupid, we'll drop a bomb on you. Whatever. Just get us a better internet service. Or Liberia, give us your internet service.
That would be great to send SEAL Team 6 in and then document them going in to get our better internet service that we deserve from the Liberians. Oh, God. I may have just popped 3/4 of a patriotic boner.
Some dude's like in a cubicle being like, I fucking just work here. I have no idea. Just leave me alone. I make $17 an hour. Leave me alone. It's a good job.
That's what our world's become.
I just read an article that I thought would be a good article to start the Brink of Sanity show because it seems like the Brink of Sanity to me.
Okay.
It just so it's about hazing that goes on at school. What do you guys think of hazing that goes on in colleges?
It's something I would never do. I know, like, I would go to frat parties and they would be like, "Do you want to be in our frat?" And I'd be like, "Sure." And then they'd be like, "All right, clean up the house after this party." And I'd be like, "Sure." And then I'd grab my coat and go home. Because
actually, what Jay actually did was he went to a party and they said, "You want to be in the frat?" And he's like, "Okay, okay." And then the guy said, "Have anal sex with me." And it turned out it wasn't a frat; it was just a gay guy coming on there.
My buddy Matt actually got hazed horrifically for about 4 months, I believe, and then the frat got expelled. So he just never got to be in
a frat that was worth it? Was it a frat that spits out, doctors and humanitarians left and right?
I don't think my school had any of those frats.
See. Where are those frats? Probably not hazing, I imagine.
Those frats are only in 80s movies.
Right, Dead Poets Society. Those guys, they wouldn't have hazed.
No, but the real frats just try and get kind of rapey and that's about it.
No, prison rapey, not even kind of prison, a prison tag on that. That's Jesus Christ.
So I was saying that, embarrassing enough, I was in a frat and I was hazed. It wasn't anything that bad, but I guess if you're going to be hazed in college, and John, were you in any kind of hazing that you participated in? or were hazed by anything?
No.
Okay.
No, we don't talk about that.
I actually got hazed to be in my family.
My very first website
Mom, leave me alone.
was hatefratguys.geocities.com.
Oh my God.
That's not even a joke.
I just hear a GeoCities. Really?
Yeah.
That's actually the part I found.
Okay.
Oh my God, was the GeoCities part.
Yeah, that was my very first website.
Do you think those GeoCity guys are really rich?
If they cashed out in 1998.
Bill?
Let's just ride this out. I'm pretty sure we'll come back later on. We'll have a new wave. So I guess like the traditional hazing is of being a frat, and you could argue how dumb. I mean, it's stupid to go through that and blah blah blah. Or sports teams like football teams, you hear about them hazing and like they beat the crap out of people and like again stupid. But this one just took the cake to me, and it actually happened a couple of years ago. But they just had. Here's the headlines in the Times: Florida A&M band member is convicted in hazing death. Band member. A former band member of the Florida A&M University celebrated Marching 100 was found guilty of manslaughter on Friday in the death of a popular drum major after a violent hazing ritual aboard a bus in 2011. The former band member, who was described by prosecutors as witnesses as the ringleader of the hazing incident, is a tradition called Crossing Bus C. Faces up to 15 years in prison. The basic thing was the ritual involved walking down the length of a parked, darkened bus as 15 to 20 band members beat on a colleague. Apparently, this person was beaten with pummeled on the bus with fists, feet, drumsticks, and mallets. At the end of this, when he made it to the back of the bus, this guy collapsed and died.
How desperate do you have
horrible.
to be for friends to put yourself through that?
Forget that. First of all, I was never involved in anything with it.
Well, you don't. Wait a minute. You don't know because where was this at? I mean, Crips and Bloods. There are some band members in those gangs.
So it was Florida A&M, which I believe is somewhere in Florida.
Oh, well, there you go.
But hang on.
That's a perfect example. They take that band shit serious. That's for fucking life.
Well, hang on. It's not to get into a fraternity, not to get into a sports team. It's to get on fucking band.
Oh, well,
that's the part of me that sounds like, I mean, of all, it sounds so insane to begin with. But shouldn't you get your ass kicked in for being in band, not joining band?
One time in band camp, I got beaten to death.
Should it like, as part of to be on the band with us, you have to get your ass kicked. Okay, I just won't be in band.
Yeah, exactly.
And you got to kill a homeless guy.
You're
With your
you're
teeth.
telling me you have to beat the crap out of me so I can get into band so everyone else can beat the crap out of me.
Right.
Well, if you want to be accepted, dirt.
I want to be accepted by the
go
guys
ahead
that
and skip the beating, but we're just going to shun you until you actually kill yourself. So no matter what, you decide to join band, you're dead.
What's the worst thing you had to do for hazing?
I don't want to talk about it.
See, this is the thing. Nobody will tell me what their hazing stories are.
You know why? Because if it's a guy, they either had something in their butt or something in their mouth, and they're not going to bring that up. And if it's a girl, who knows? I don't think like they do. I'm just going to go ahead and talk for the other 50%.
If it's a
I
girl,
bet the girls are way meaner, though. I bet the guys are way more like sexual, like shit in the butt and mouth. But I bet the girl shit sticks with girls way longer than it does with guys.
Well, I heard some stories with the girls ones where they like make you go in your underwear and they just like draw all the parts of your body that like, you know, with marker on your body, like parts you need to lose weight and like, but basically body shaming.
I don't know if that's like a true story. I feel like every person who's ever gone to college knows that story. So I don't know if it's one of those urban legends or but I think they really do that.
I think it's because frats are that uncreative that they all have the same exact hazing rituals.
But isn't a mirror body shaming, really? Why do you need a marker and all that? I mean, don't you get up every day and take a shower? And I'm sure you catch a glimpse of yourself. You know?
I mean, I weep in front of the mirror at my shitty body every day, but I guess when you have other people present, it's a little worse. So, Mark, what was the worst thing you had to do?
I mean, we did like things that I guess the thing that like a lot of it was like the mess with your head, and one of the things you had to do was like a 24-hour ritual where basically you're up like the entire time, and like they have music playing, repeating itself, and you're like doing dumb shit the whole time, but like doing mindless stuff where your mind is losing it.
Well, that sounds.
It was like it's the whole thing stupid, obviously, but basically it's more about basically making you like lose your mind than it is like, and you also there was like some like you do push-ups and stuff like that, but like it's
That doesn't sound as traumatic as I was hoping.
it was nothing. There was nothing that traumatic in it. It's more like you're staying up for like 24, maybe it was like 48 hours straight. By the time it is, you're very just exhausted and out of it. But we weren't like I went to an Ivy League college, so it wasn't really like, hey, we're gonna like beat the crap out of you. I bet if I went to Florida A&M, like the most traumatic thing would be like that time they murdered my friend.
I've been friends with my buddy Matt for 20 years, and he still won't tell me what they did to him.
What was it, like Nam?
Apparently. He apparently left a lot of war wounds. He won't tell me a thing.
But can you imagine if it was really like to get into band? I just like I couldn't like how to read that part. Like this guy really like got killed to be in band.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
So what's going on? So John, where do you live?
I live in the Midwest, right smack and dab in the middle of a bunch of cornfields and stuff.
We're in the Midwest because Jay told me you live in the Midwest, and
yeah, that would be the middle of the West.
Yeah. I assume that's somewhere between California and New York, but where?
Upper northern, middle Midwest, north-south Midwest.
Are you in like
Illinois? More like northwestern Illinois.
Okay, I thought you were gonna keep making me guess where you were. I was like, are you in the witness protection?
Well, I was, but then it wasn't really doing it for me. So I'm like, well, let's see. Yeah, here you go.
Wouldn't it be funny?
I guess because I have to apologize. I didn't mean to haze you right there. That's what I was shooting for. I was shooting to haze you, and then I just started feeling fucking awful about myself. And I don't see how they can do it. I really don't. After the stories you guys shared and everything, I never really had too much of a hazing. I mean, I know that Boy Scouts, to go from, because the progression would be Cub Scout, Webelow, and then Boy Scout. To go from Webelow to Boy Scout, they all tie you down to a cot with sheets and beat you with bars of soap.
Isn't that the better part?
Anything.
When they don't, isn't that better than the Scoutmaster, what he does?
Well, you know what? That all depends on which way your tastes run. I found that as really as gentle as he was, that was way better than the bars of soap.
So Boy Scouts
seems like it's never going to end.
You were like, it was. I mean, like, yeah. I mean, it was like an intro to that kind of lifestyle, but like he just went to my needs, not his needs. So it was cool.
Right?
So Boy Scouts was like the first.
All I know is that I've always been the hazy, and I just felt by messing with you about the name of where I'm from and the area that I was the hazer that time, and I don't know, I can hardly live with that a little bit. I don't know how these people sleep at night.
I feel like life in general is hazing. Like life kind of like is just for most of us, life is tough. I think God just
yes, life is a giant fucking haze. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I didn't know the Boy Scouts was like the first hour of Full Metal Jacket.
Well, now you do. You weren't a scout, I take it. Obviously somebody never advanced into Webelos. Somebody was shitty with a pocket knife.
Wait, did this happen to you? Not Jay, John. You were a Webelo?
Yes.
Wait, so hang on. Part of but two things. First, one of the levels of being a scout is Webelo.
No, Webelo.
Webelo. I can't believe it's called Webelo. And I know you corrected me, and I'm sticking with my pronunciation.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Who's hazing who now, man?
And secondly,
who's the big frat jock dick now?
I don't think anyone.
Anyway, go ahead. Continue to question my masculinity when I was.
I'm not questioning your masculinity.
No, that's right. I'm sorry. My affiliation with something that has the word blow in it when I was 10. I want to see how pure this stays. I want to see where you go with it.
I'm not even going with that. So wait, what happened? What did they do to you? They tied you down and they beat you with soap?
Yeah. Yeah, it's called a blanket party. We had that.
That
was if you wanted it to. That was a little bit of hazing we did. But they never I guess they didn't draw on us and show where we were fat. Maybe that's where the bruises ended up, but nobody ever pointed it out.
That'd be really
ashamed. It was just like something painful you had to go through, and then
Wouldn't that be actually better if the hazing was that? Like you switch around hazing, and for the boys, for 10-year-olds, they're like drawing on their body. I mean, they're like, John, you need to lose that weight. And you're like, why? I don't understand why I'm supposed to be shamed by this. What the hell are you talking about? And some one fat kid just
Exactly.
like kills himself.
Now, you know what? If you kill yourself because you were shamed because people pointed out where you're fat in front of other people, then you don't realize in your own head that you actually walk around among other people every fucking day of your life. So, really, you have bigger issues, and maybe should have been eating some soap a little harder.
I'm guessing you'll never be appointed to speak at someone's funeral after they kill themselves. I mean, like Steve killed himself, but like he's a pussy. Anyhow, moving on.
He should have just known he was fat.
No, you can't. You can't throw the "he's a pussy because he killed himself" words in my mouth and then go, "Okay, we're done. Moving on."
Next topic.
Okay.
That is what that kid did, though. That kid. That's the only way you can use moving on to truly shut something off is if you kill yourself. Like that kid. Oh God, I'm so ashamed. Moving on. All right, go ahead. Fucking pussy. Kid's a pussy. He gave up. He was a kid.
So how's it going in the Midwest?
Oh, fucking, have you listened to me for the last 10 minutes? That's pretty much it.
Cool. Jay told me that you guys started your podcast around the same time, and Brink is the more successful of the two podcasts, which sounds like podcasting is probably a tough industry.
Oh, no, podcasting's easy. It's finding the right equipment and a decent fucking internet connection. The only reason I am not doing it is I'm on satellite internet, which gives me a bandwidth limit that I have to pay for every month. And to do one podcast, what were the ones that I used to do, Jason? Like 7-8 hours at a pop and about 50 gig to fucking download.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I would listen for like an hour, go out to a bar, shower, eat, come back, and then John would still be going.
Were you just pulling like an Andy Kaufman or reading The Great Gatsby?
Oh, to me that's something brilliant. I love that stuff. Anything, yeah, they were mostly for me. One of my favorite things about having the podcast before was that I've always been told how I am when I black out. But with the podcast, I could actually go back because I had idiot proof not to get erased and shit because I got that drunk. Then I could go back and listen to myself while I was blacked out, and everything everybody said was true.
I've blacked out twice on this podcast, and I've been too afraid to go back and listen.
I was just joking.
I love it because
I was just joking because if you're on the show with us right now, that might be eliminate all our listeners. Not eliminate as in you might be the only listener. I don't even know if you are a listener, but like the only listeners being on the show means there's no listeners left for our show.
Yeah, John was saying how the hardest part of podcasting is equipment, and I disagree. I think the hardest part is having more than 2 listeners.
Oh, I don't know. I think if you keep pushing it that hard enough, and that's why I've been toying with the idea just to get the poison out of my system. I mean, like I said, right now I'm awfully rusty because I haven't been in front of my mic and I'm talking on my fucking phone right now. But after we moved out here and realized I wasn't going to be able to do that a couple times a week like we did, my wife for the longest time would tell me, you have to find a way to start doing it again so you can get it out of your system and leave me the fuck alone to take this fuck out on me.
Hey,
so,
are you? Just to interrupt you. Are you a Howard Stern fan?
I was.
To get the poison out of my system, the line from the show. I wonder if you were referencing the show.
Sure.
Okay,
Well, almost everything that any of us are doing came from Stern anyway.
No,
really.
I'm a huge fan, but I like that. It's a funny line from one.
Oh no, the poison. I could, if I was talking about beating off, it's a Jim Norton line, man. I mean, everybody's got their demons in them. They got to get out some way. But no, I'll always give if Howard, if that's one of Howard's, then more power to him. I'm not going to pay him for it because, for Christ's sake, I mean, he makes plenty of money already. If he hasn't saved away for now, then I'm not giving him anything.
I think us talking on the radio alone or podcast, whatever, is stealing from him in some way. So he's basically the Moses of all this, or Abraham of all this.
Yes, he is. Father Howard had many sons, and many sons had Father Howard.
And they all live to be 600 years old, somehow.
Yes.
Go on with your story that I interrupted and I forgot what you were talking about.
Oh, I was asking what everybody is drinking this evening, since that always was an early theme.
I am drinking water. Jay?
Captain Morgan Silver with Diet Dr. Pepper.
Why Diet Dr. Pepper? Why would you do that to Captain Morgan Silver?
I like the Oh, you mean soda to begin with, or diet over
I think
regular?
it's probably the diet thing.
I like the taste of diet soda more than regular soda.
I want to kill
Really?
brain cells,
Yeah.
but I don't want to add to my waistline.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's not like a health thing because I just had like eggplant parmesan, but it's more that I like the taste of diet soda better.
Okay.
I guess I'm being the snoot with that because I don't. And my stepmother was a huge fan. The first time I met her, she asked if I wanted a drink, like she was having, and I'm like, "What do you have?" And it was Kessler and Diet Coke. And I was like, "Wow, that's got to be awesome." And she quoted the bottle, smooth as silk. And I've never. The only other drink I've had, I tried one, and it was hideous, and I think it was the Diet Coke. If it had been sweetened up a bit, it might have been better. Also, Drambuie and Diet Pepsi. When we were in high school, the father of one of my friends used to drink that. Have you guys ever partaken in Drambuie?
No, I have no idea what that even
not.
is.
Yeah, I don't know what that is either.
Oh, really?
No.
I guess maybe that's something that we siphon off the Midwestern wounds around here after the birth. Or it's kind of that's not really obscure. Drambuie, I'm sure somebody can Google that real quick, and I'm sure you've seen the bottle in a bar or on some friend's bar. It's a mixer. It's like if, oh shit, what would you call it? If Schnapps fucked Jaeger, you'd have Drambuie.
It's actually, it says that on the label, actually.
Yeah, that's one of the selling points. And again, not getting paid for that.
But because we did that, we'll get free Drambuie in the mail.
Oh, that'd be fucking awesome. Hey, yeah. Actually, the entire reason I bought up Drambuie is because I'm trying to raise Drambuie awareness in the Midwest. You caught me.
Well, I
It's
think
kind of like
and I was on tonight to a lot of people I know and have them hear it, and then hear the Drambuie part, and then I would be awash in Drambuie.
it's kind of like the ALS thing, but with Drambuie.
Yes. Oh God, we should bring that back. But we can't use ALS because that's blatant. But
we could do the Ebola challenge.
Drambuie for Down syndrome.
We could do the Ebola
Down
challenge.
syndrome
Nobody
awareness.
seems to know how it's contracted. It needs some awareness.
Yeah, Ebola. Yeah.
Well, no. What we should do is we should get people who have Down syndrome and pour Drambuie on them.
And not bring awareness to anything. Just do that.
Well, you would be aware. You'd be like, "Oh God, you don't want to pour Drambuie on somebody with Down syndrome that's not expecting it." They got really pissed off and broke a lot of shit.
And they have retard strength. It's really scary.
That's right. They have super strength. They have actual superpowers. That's their compensation for not being as quick, coming up with what the fucking tab's going to be split 3 ways for dinner. They could break the table in half if they didn't agree with the amount.
I know everyone. That's like a very common joke, but what if it was just true? Like that was the like.
It is true. That's not a common joke. That's
no. Like what if like it was it's I guess maybe like a movie where basically they actually have the strength like of ants, like 10 times their body strength. And the biggest problem we have in society is these people with Down syndrome like tear apart buildings, and like the government's like, we've got to stop the retards. Don't call them retards. Call them Down syndrome folk. God, I'm not going to be politically correct. They're killing our citizens.
I think we got next year's summer blockbuster written.
Yeah, like they'd all be like the Incredible Hulk, except for like the whole time they're just like smashing stuff without.
Tell me you would not watch the shit out of that movie.
I would love it. Basically, it's just people with Down syndrome are playing basically that game where what's the game where
Rampage.
Rampage, yeah, it's basically Down syndrome Rampage. We've just written the best movie ever.
That could be the name, Down syndrome Rampage.
And instead of even having like them being defeated at the end of the movie, all the movie is them just destroying stuff, and then at some point the movie just ends.
I would watch that movie on repeat.
I want to play the Down syndrome Rampage, man. It's so bad. I had a complete. I saw that. I visualized it. It popped complete, 100% complete into my head. And I'm like, oh my God, why does this not exist?
Okay, we should hire people to make that game and sell it for the iPhone. It would make so much money. It would be and we'd make so much. We have so much advertising.
Oh, and the worse you made it, the more offensive you made it, the more money it would fucking make too.
Oh my God! Before it was pulled by like iTunes, we'd make like $1 trillion.
Yeah.
Everybody
It'd be all over. Everybody be talking about it like, oh, you're not going to play the Down Syndrome Rampage game. What would you call the Down Syndrome Rampage game?
Down Syndrome Rampage?
Yeah.
Why would you call it anything else?
Oh God!
And just to make sure
that is yes.
And just to make sure that Fox News advertises every day, we'd have to throw in some anti-religion things.
Yeah, basically it's Retard Rampage at church.
That's what gets them so mad.
You know what? You said Down syndrome, but Retard Rampage, that's so illiterate. It just flows off Retard Rampage.
And that way, also that way, basically, you can shorten the name so it doesn't sound as bad. Like, no, Mom, I'm just playing R squared. Oh, that sounds like a nice game.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you do in R squared? Well, I get to be a retard.
I'm a city planner.
Break something. I'm in demolition.
We're architects.
Oh, you demolish buildings that need to go down? Not really. Actually, we just hit stuff. Actually,
there's a lot of drooling and screaming involved.
Like him and his mom really talk like that when they're playing.
And it'd be like, listen, we're not. What's wrong with the game here? I know people don't like to use the word. Maybe we use the word retard, not the wrong word to use. But we have a game featuring retards. Are there any other games out there that feature retards as the main character? I think not. I think all the other games are anti-retard. We're pro-retard. And also, I mean, we have retards that are like they have exceptional strength, which again, that's in their favor. Ain't that like every time you see retards in shows, they always are like, I don't know, they're like some feel-good story and like people laugh at them. Now we have a story.
They can tear an engine block in half with their hands.
Yeah, they're getting stuff done. Yeah. They're working. They have jobs destroying stuff. They're like people are respect them. This is the most.
They're like giant-headed users.
This is the most pro-retard thing you could have out there. You're actually you are offending retards by not having this on your iPhone. You are a terrible human being if you're not playing this right now. Thank you.
Well, and like maybe 6 cents out of every dollar could actually go toward retard kids.
Like they didn't even figure out what to use with the money. They're retards. Come
on.
They'd probably eat the coins and kill them off.
So yeah, we'd actually be doing them a favor if we sent even less.
Yeah, we would contribute to them, but we're worried about them choking on the money. So there you go.
But who do you see about getting the rights to the word retard? Because if we have a big hit retard game, there's going to be all kinds of vultures trying to come in and copycat it. So yeah, where's that? Where do you buy the license for retard?
I don't think you buy the license. You could get it trademarked.
Ooh.
And you can file legal protections for the term retard. Though I don't know if there might be some rule against using an offensive like.
What about variations of? I mean, because if I own retard, I don't want people using tard or re or any of the various variations of the word retard.
Like,
do you own the word retard and its variations, or do you pay like a nickel a piece on your trademark after that to get all those? Or how does that work?
Suddenly we're talking to a lawyer and we're like, listen, Tard Terminator is the exact same thing as Retard Rampage. You got to stop Tard Terminator. Like, it's the same game. They copied our idea.
Yeah, but we avoid having to pay the lawyer all the extra money for that, just nipping it in the bud when we assign trademark to that.
And I don't care. Down's Destruction. Again, same exact thing.
Down's Destruction.
Yeah. So this is going to be I'm glad we're putting a lot into this business plan. Do you think we should put this on like Kickstarter?
Oh, there's already like 10 people right now going out and applying for that shit. We've already lost. We should have never brought it up.
Two things. We haven't released the episode yet, so we can still run with it. And secondly, we just don't have 10 listeners.
You're not broadcasting live right now?
No,
we're not live on the airwaves?
No. So, not that.
How does that... Oh, I'm sorry.
Because this isn't really
How does that feel? Because that's what I'm getting ready to do myself, since there's no way that my situation is going to change to where I have internet that I can broadcast live with. I'm going to start doing just recording it and putting it out. But the whole time that I did it, it was always live. I mean, when Jason, you still there, Jason?
Yeah, sorry, I was having food delivery problems. They tried.
What the hell are you doing on the show? Jason's like, oh, I was just running errands.
Well, no, I ordered food for my girlfriend, and then they showed up with the food, and then said they wanted money, even though I already paid on my card. And they said you didn't pay on your card, so I had to pull up.
I love how Jay has an entire story going on while we're talking. Like we do another show, the Nick Show, this Nick Show, and like I'm talking, and at some point Jay hasn't responded for a while, and I'm blowhard, so I talk a lot, and I'm like Jay, and he's like, oh, I was playing Candy Crush. Oh, I was responding to some email.
Oh my God, no! Say it's not so, Jay. Say no. You don't play Candy Crush because you're a team. If you're on here right now, you're a team. You should be working off each other, riffing off each other. Sending each other messages while you're talking and working out what's coming up next.
I'm back.
I'm fucking disillusioned now. I thought that's how all that shit worked.
Jay, so what happened? What happened with your delivery man that happened during the show that you didn't care? What happened, Jay?
I said that my card got charged, so you're gonna get your tip and not double charge me for the food.
And what did the guy?
You told him just the tip.
Exactly.
Yes. And what did the guy that didn't speak English say back to you?
I kind of just nodded and walked away. What is he going to do?
But if he would have jumped on your back, like as soon as you turned around, just like no matter, he just jumped on your back.
Well, then I would have been really upset that we didn't do the podcast live.
Right? Oh, that's all staged, Yeah, you can't.
The camera comes on 20 minutes into the episode, and there's just a little Mexican guy on my back.
Was it a little Mexican? He was pretty, a little pretty and brown.
Jay was like,
I like the swingers reference.
Jay was like, do you know who I am? Jay's like, do you know who I am? You're doing this to me. Do you know who I am? I am the maker of Retard Rampage. Don't you fuck with me.
I got fucking kill your family money.
Yeah. As soon as this goes live, oh my God. What is Retard Rampage? Well, we have some retards, and they the game Rampage. Retard.
We're not even going to change or update the graphics. We're just going to replace the dinosaur with a retard.
You wouldn't even have to do that. You could actually just keep all the regular bodies for everything, and just put Photoshopped baby with Down syndrome head on each of them. That would work for me.
God, that would go viral
the fuck out of that.
So fast.
And just throw in a bunch of, angry screams and yells.
Yeah.
If you could literally just do it.
Oh, yeah, and if something flies up and you punch a car, or your opponent punches a car and it hits your ears, you get extra rage points and go off for about 30.
Throwing a bunch of those.
I'm really upset because Marc picked up the baton and ran with trying to come up with Rampage names that worked for people who are disabled and or challenged. And I feel bad. I've been racking my brain here since he did. I can't come up with any. He stole all the best ones. You have no list. Well, you know what? You have an email where everybody emails you, or where people all send you their information. Can people send you what we should name Retard Rampage?
The brinkofsanity@gmail.com or brinkofsanity3 on Twitter.
Or if you're into computer programming and want to just start the game with us, call us.
Yes, or you can do that.
We'll make the game funny if you could do all the work.
Yeah, no shit. We will be right there to say, no, more retarded. No, I want a little more squint to those eyes. No, what? He's not Asian. That's not a Korean dude. He's got Down syndrome. Racist.
Listen, if you're not gonna give him the unibrow, you're fired.
Yeah, right. And the flat head. It's flat. It's pretty much like a cylinder with a chin. It's a Frankenstein head. They all have not they. Oh God, I didn't say the word they. Folks with Down syndrome in our game all have like a Frankenstein head, minus the nub things on the neck, but the flat top part and the long face.
Okay, so now that this joke is dead, that we've killed the horse, kicked the horse, and had sex with the horse.
We would have to
somebody with Down syndrome would.
We would also have to register the name Extra Chromosome Thunderdome.
Wow.
Yeah.
John, you're really bad.
All your time with the delivery guy doing that is outstanding.
That was amazing, actually, Jay. That was awesome, Don.
I got chills. Did you feel it? I've got actual goosebumps. Marc, did you feel that whole ripple that went through everything?
What was that?
I got goosebumps.
That was really good, Jay.
Jason lays back there like the San Andreas Fault, just gathering energy and shit. And you're like, oh, we haven't heard him. Oh, he's getting to. And then all of a sudden,
bam,
he sends out a comedy ripple like that.
Well, that's what happens when
it shakes everything to its foundation.
When I'm not.
Is there any way you could like get a job, Jay, where you come up with retard names for things? Because like that was amazing. Sir, welcome to the interview. Jay, I see here on your resume, it says you were really good at coming up with retard names for things.
In my public access show, I came up with the name Paraplegios, the cereal for retards. And
we're really, really impressed, Jay. We just we've heard about your work coming up with retard names. This is what we're looking for in an employee, is someone to come up with retard names. We never thought we'd find someone as good as you at this. What we'd like to ask, Jay, will you do it for $1 million a year?
It was basically us hurting ourselves with spoons and drowning in milk for about 3.5 minutes, and it actually aired on TV.
I don't think saying it actually aired for public access really matters.
Well,
it's not like it actually aired on NBC.
Tell that to all the hate letters we got in the mail.
You went to the trouble. You went to the trouble. There was you had to actually come up, and there was some production value to it, correct?
Yeah, and this was before the internet, so you had people who actually physically mailed angry letters to us. I mean, that's pretty angry.
I mean, first of all, if you've watched public access,
those are the best.
If you watch public access, that sounds like one of the more intelligent things I'll see on public access. Secondly, who watches that and writes letters?
We got
the same people who watch TV Guide Network.
Yeah,
it's just amazing that you'd be like, I'm pissed off with someone paid to air on that show on this. Like maybe your TV only tunes into public access. That's all you have. That's your cable plan. We don't get NBC or CBS. We just get public access, and we're not allowed to turn it on. It's mandated by the Constitution. So I have to write a letter. They're destroying America. Once you allow people to do this on public access, then the gays will get married. That's how it follows.
Should we move on to one of our topics? The show's like almost over.
I have some would you rather's, and I have a story for you guys. Before I was going to ask Jay what you want, but I have a question for you guys. So you know those stories they have of the teacher having sex with a student. Every once in a while, usually it's like a guy student, the guy teacher, and he goes to jail. And he should go to jail. But every once in a while, it's a female teacher with like a 16-year-old boy. So I have a question. You have a son.
Whoa! Talk slower. Slow down.
I'm gonna talk faster. Here's the question. You have a 16-year-old son. You find out he's been having sex with his 24-year-old teacher. Would your reaction to it vary based on how hot the teacher is?
Yes.
Because you would never say your 16-year-old daughter was having sex with a 24-year-old male teacher and say, well, he's a stud, so good job, honey.
That is true.
But if the teacher was slamming, I feel like you'd be like, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Would that actually make it a lot fairer, though, if you really did if your daughter was doing that, just maybe one of the first questions is he pretty big? Did he just knock the back out of it? Was it worth it? It's not like, did he take advantage of you? But like, oh, God, no, he pinned my ears behind my back and made me a fucking woman. I'd probably be like, maybe that's all right.
In the all-time worst parenting conversation ever, honey, I know it was statutory rape, but was he big?
Yeah. Well, was he big enough? Not too big, or was it like the baby bear's dick? Not too big, not too little. Was it just right? Were you happy? Maybe we don't have to press charges.
Do you know, actually,
I'm in the Midwest. That shit varies from like road to road.
Actually, it was an unaired episode of Leave It to Beaver. They didn't air that.
Yeah,
that was pretty
exactly.
But so if you actually had a 16-year-old son, or like a 14-year-old son, so it's a pretty an age where they could be really screwed up by a teacher doing that to them, whether it be if it was, let's say it was the teacher was 25 years old and she was fat and ugly, what would your reaction be?
If it was my son or
Your
just
son.
in general?
No, your son. So it has to be something very personal.
Oh, my son?
What would you want?
Like,
what would you want to happen to the woman?
well, you know what? That's kind of, even if she's fat and ugly, that's kind of a 50-50 there because he's no fucking prize himself.
That is true.
Yeah, maybe they both maybe that's something that's going to work out. I might probably encourage it. At least it would get him out of the house.
Do you have a 14-year-old son?
No, I have a 22-year-old son and a 20-year-old son.
So you're
and
like
a 10-year-old daughter.
So you're like, actually, this is what I was hoping for. I kept saying, I'm like, Daddy, why
yes, if he would, why can't he hook up with some weirdo substitute that's visiting my house for what reason?
Daddy, why are there condoms in my lunchbox?
Yeah.
So you guys should probably get married.
I don't know. The one with the eyes that don't really face in any right direction. Can't you just nail her, son? Come on. This is the best you're going to do.
Yeah, pretty much. And you're getting late, ain't you?
Papa wants a game room.
Like,
ta-da.
As long as the vagina, son. Again, great moments in parenting.
You may have to deal with this soon, Mark. Well,
I think I'm off by a lot. So I have 2 kids. My kids are 3 and 8 months.
So you're in great shape. You still got time to put the fear in them and make a life plan for them and not wing it to where you're hoping for a Down syndrome teacher to make a score and make your life better for you.
So where can I go? How your kids, do they live one obviously a 10-year-old's at home. The other one's at home or in school or what?
The one actually went let's see, halfway through his 3rd year at college, and then decided, for the last half of this last semester, I'm going to hide in my dorm room and not tell anybody that I quit. And came on home.
Oof.
And then the other one decided, I made a really retarded choice when I thought, accounting will be something that I can get into real quick and be done with and not be bored as fuck. And decided to go out and try and live as an adult and found out, wow, this fucking really blows too.
Jay is getting his
Jay's
getting his master's in accounting right now, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm like, just stick with it, period. Anyway, it's simple math. You know what? Because an accountant, they let you use a calculator.
Yeah, you don't have to know any of the shit I'm learning.
Yeah, you don't have to know shit. That's what you do, Jay. You're an accountant.
Not yet, but I'll have my MBA in about 14 months.
You doing your dissertation on the abacus, are you?
Yeah.
Is that what are we gonna? It's an eating machine thing.
It's so weird taking.
That's like the greatest job ever. That's like the male version of being a prostitute. Like, I got a head for figures.
A male version of being a prostitute.
Yeah, it's the brain pussy. Men have the math brain pussy for accounting. That's the best I got, man. That's where I'm going with that.
Taking 14 years off from school is weird because everything is so different. Like,
I applaud you for doing it.
Everything is like, thank you. It's not, I hate it, but I'm doing it. It's just weird because like everything's online now. Like the assignments are posted online, and like I had like a word processor when I went to college, and I don't know. Everything's just so weird now. People are with fucking iPads in the middle of class, just ignoring the professor and just dicking around on iPads. It just seems so weird to me.
Jay just keeps shouting. Jay just keeps shouting in class. What the hell is this Google thing? What the hell?
I am the old guy in class. It's so depressing.
They're like, what was it like before the internet? And you're like, fuck, I actually have an answer for this.
I know. The teacher actually said, like, who was born in the 80s? And, like, everyone raised their hand. And they were like, who was born in the 70s? And me and, like, 2 other guys raised their hand. I'm like, thanks for bringing that to everyone's attention.
Hey, old man, what was it like when not everyone had a computer? Again, I actually have an answer.
Yeah.
What was it like before your pubes were gray?
What was it like not playing Atari ironically?
What was it like only have 20 channels?
I can tell you what it's like to not play Atari ironically.
Yep.
I play combat still, just for fucking spite with my wife. And she gets too drunk to say, no, I don't want to fucking drag that shit out. With the bounce. Not with the straight shot, but with the actual ricocheting shots, because that's the only way to play combat.
That is the only way to play combat. My classmate actually asked me if I wanted to go see a 90s cover band. I didn't even know that was like a thing.
Well, it's better than like he's like, oh, let's go see an aughts cover band. I'm sorry, a what? Aughts, the 2000s.
It's so retro now.
No, because it's always 20 years. Yeah. Pretty much 20 years.
It just took me by
every
surprise.
generation's going 20 years back for their. Because in the 80s, it was all a big 60s thing. That's when the whole hippie resurgence started. That kind of clung on a little bit into the early 90s.
Yeah, with
And then
fucking
it's
Dave
always,
Matthews.
It's always about 20 years. Because the early 80s, there was all. That's where all your rockabilly and all that shit shot on shit in the 70s.
Hey,
About
just
a
to
20-year period. So.
just to interrupt where we were going, one thing we actually shouldn't talk about is that we have questions for the show from some listeners, and we should get to them before the show ends.
I like your theory. Yeah.
Sorry for interrupting you. I know we were going on a great tangent about why I can't believe it's been 20 years. Oh my god. So here's a couple.
So Mark
questions.
hated where we were going.
That
with
much time on that tangent. It was like 20 minutes.
I have like 20. I have a bunch of topics that we're just never going to get to.
I think this entire
all right,
episode.
no.
is-
I'm sorry, Mark. Let's proceed. Zip.
I mean, Mark's the star, so we got to do what he wants.
Exactly. So I wrote on the Brink asking people for their Halloween adventure if they want to talk about it. We had one response. Austin writes, did you guys go trick-or-treating when you were young? If so, what was your favorite costume? Oh, and super random, I live in New Haven, Connecticut, and I was walking down the street, and there was a cop with two other people, and he was writing on his hand with a pen. I don't know what it was about, but it was so funny. What was the story again? The random guy picking up the kids in the park or something. Yes, my son was randomly picked up by some stranger in the playground, and when the cop came by our apartment to get the story from us, because we were reporting it, the cop wrote the story down on his hand with a pen. And at that point, I was like, fuck. My son was fine, and I didn't know this was really, I couldn't believe this was really going on.
He was writing in pen.
On his hand.
Yeah, but it was in pen. I mean, I agreed it should have been maybe a fine point marker, but still pen. As long as he's not really sweaty and shit in his palms, it would have been fine.
Don't they get a pad like on training day?
I know, you see someone that you see someone and they have a stamp on their hand. And you're like, oh, did you go to a club last night? Them, he's like they see his hand, like, oh, some like old guy pick up a little boy in a park. Shake your head. Yeah, I gotta write those on a hand because I don't want to report that shit.
No paper trail.
I don't know if it's a common cop thing. If someone who is a cop, if we have listeners, could tell us, is it a common thing to write shit on your hand? And why the fuck do you do that? So did you guys go trick-or-treating when you were young?
Oh yeah.
And what was your favorite costume, Jay?
It was weird because my neighborhood, like every house had a kid, and now like my parents still live in that same house, and like there's no kids. Like my dad said, like 2 people showed up all day. It was super strange.
When you say there's no kids, they've all moved on for themselves, or
I think everyone realized that Long Island was boring. So when like my generation like got old enough to move out, we moved out and never came back.
It was better than you were like. Actually, they all got cancer. We lived near a toxic waste dump. It was really awful. Actually, it was a class action lawsuit. Anyhow, they're all dead.
Yeah, in terms of children's lives, it's Short Island now.
Yeah, exactly.
What was your favorite costume?
Once I went as a mummy, and I just wrapped my entire body in toilet paper, which helped because nobody wanted to egg me because I would have already been automatically cleaned up. That was the other thing when every house had kids. There was a lot of like shaving cream wars and eggings and stuff. It was kind of fun, but
A friend of mine just moved to the suburbs, and he's a lot of families in his neighborhood. He said he handed out, and he said, like, I'm not even exaggerating, 1,500 pieces of candy last night.
yeah, that's the way it used to be. Now everyone like, well, in my neighborhood, because now I'm closer to the city, like everyone just goes to the stores.
Oh, they hand out candy at the stores?
Yeah, every single storefront has candy. You could walk into like a nail salon, a restaurant. It doesn't matter. Everyone has a thing of candy for the trick-or-treaters, so they just go up and down into all the stores.
Oh.
Can I jump in here real quick? Just since I am a fella who has had no trick or treaters for the past few years because I'm rural now, and nobody drives. You don't drive to country houses trick or treating.
Well, I've seen pictures
you guys
of your
are in the
house.
city. I grew up in a town that had a population of 2,600 people. So my question to you is, being in an area like the city, where you just had many more opportunities, doors to knock on. To get candy, did you ever use an old pillowcase as your bag?
I lived in the suburbs, and yes, I did.
Yes, right. And did you fill it pretty handily? Did anybody have anything to say about it being a big pillowcase?
I think a lot of people use pillowcases. I remember that being like a common, What else were you supposed to use? You're supposed to have like a personalized, ooh, I have the Paris Hilton bag.
Well, no, not even like that. I grew up with that. My boys, like I said, I have two boys, 22 and 20 years old, that grew up using a pillowcase. And my daughter is 10, so there was a big gap in there. And then we moved out to this even smaller area than we were before. We went out for Halloween the first year. She's got the pillowcase, and every fucking door that we knocked on, somebody invariably had to say something about the size of her bag. Like, ooh, look at that pillowcase. Somebody's expecting a lot of candy tonight. But, not in oh, it's Halloween, you'll fill it up, and it'll be great. It was like, no, you're a fucking glutton, and somebody thinks who thinks they're so special they're going to fill up that fucking pillowcase?
Isn't that the whole point, to try and fill up the pillowcase?
Yeah.
This is what's crazy. I haven't gotten to the crazy part yet. This was on the first night of the 2 night in a row, October 30th and 31st, trick-or-treats that they do. They have trick-or-treating 2 fucking nights in a row up here.
What?
Wait, I have a question. You live in, so how far away is your neighbors?
Oh, Jesus. Probably at least in the closest would be maybe a half mile.
I've seen a picture of John's backyard, and you can't see the next house.
How big is, you own your house, I assume. How much property do you own?
Oh, God, no, I don't. Oh, Jason didn't clue you in. No, I ran away out here. It's Obama. It's Obama stole off my house before because they gave me money and expected me to pay them back every month, and I did, and they're like, we're going to take your fucking house. So I ran away out here.
I didn't follow all that story. I just meant I figured out there 12 acres is like you get your house and you automatically get 12 acres to go with it because there's a lot of land. But what are you talking about?
Not like that.
What
I ended up out here because I owned a house for 17 years, but they expected me every month to pay them the money that I had borrowed initially to live in that house and have it be in my name and be mine. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I can't do that all the time. And finally, it just got to where they're like, well, I guess we're going to have to take that house back. And I'm like, oh, geez, fine. And we moved out here.
Just to translate, you got behind in your mortgage and you couldn't pay it anymore.
Yeah, mortgage, squatters' rights, it's all fucking a matter of interpretation.
Right. What? What the hell are you talking about?
I just don't get how you...
I guess someone says, I bought a house, I got behind and we couldn't pay the mortgage anymore. Fine. I don't know what you're talking about with squatters' rights.
I don't get how you got a second
house.
Neither
do I, man. My apologies. You guys, I was a little upset because I felt that my daughter was unduly considered a glutton because she had a pillowcase for a trick-or-treat bag.
My question my whole bigger question was, if you live a half mile from your neighbor, where the hell do you trick or treat?
Oh, there's a little town that's about 4 miles up the road. That's where we go do it. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were driving 100 miles and trick or treating. Okay, honey, another hour in the car to the next neighbor.
You go trick or treating for 5 hours, and
we do it all online now. We do it through HughesNet. That's why I can't do a podcast anymore because all my bandwidth is going every Halloween so that my daughter can get her virtual candy.
That's what
her virtual pillowcase. I wish can't she use a little Walmart bag? Why does she got to fill that virtual pillowcase with all my bandwidth?
So what was the worst part of the thing? So they said your daughter was a glutton for using the pillowcase. Because first of all,
no, they were all snarky answers, as in, oh, pillowcase. Some of them had opened the door and they were in mid-candy throw. And as the candy came out of their hands, they looked down and saw the candy heading toward a pillowcase. They actually reached out and snatched it back and held 1 or 2 back and dropped in what they had.
Ooh, look at these fancy
people. There was trick-or-treaters that were murdered by pillowcases back in the day or something that we shouldn't know about or some weird racist pillowcase crime. Don't know.
Ooh, look at these fancy people. They have cases for their pillows. They're the rich folk. I'm not going to give them candy. Was the pillowcase you used? Was there like was it all white and there were like dots on it and like this little point at the end?
No, see, that's exactly it. No.
Okay.
The eye holes, they weren't even eye holes, really. It's more like moths. Yeah, those aren't eye holes, those are moths.
It's weird. Every African-American family we opened the door up got really offended at the pillowcase.
Oh, again, here's where you're mistaken about where I'm at. It doesn't work that way at all. What are these at? There's an Africa in America? What is it you talking about?
Is your area very white?
You know what? Actually, surprisingly, no, because we are like only 20 miles away from a small Midwestern college town, but college enough to be diverse with a bigger population and shit. So,
What college?
No, that would give my location away, and my enemies would find me.
Are you calling
like
on
those
the
fuckers
lam
who
right
want
now?
the money for their house I bought and didn't pay for.
Do you think ISIS will find you if you give your address?
Oh God, I'm not worried about ISIS. When I was a kid, speaking of us saying we were born in the 70s, I'd have wished ISIS would have found me. Shazam!
Are you on the lam right now, John?
Pardon me?
Are you on the lam right now?
Yes.
Are you like physically running from the cops? I'm doing this show while jogging from the police.
Yeah.
John,
not
John,
jogging really. More
John,
like quick run, power walk. I'm power walking from the police. Right?
John, I assume you own your house. Fuck that Obama. Oh, okay,
Well,
sorry,
yeah,
John.
exactly right. Because you know what Obama did? Obama said, we're going to make these, Obama came in and like, we're going to make all these loans. He did this back, I think, 87, 88? Obama, when he was in power in 87 or 88, came in and said, we're going to make all these loans ready to be readily available to people. But in the small print, we're going to be like, it's a loan, but you got to pay it back. And then when they don't, we're going to take all their houses, and then I'll be king of America.
Goddamn Obama.
I really thought it was going to be an anti-Obama
thing. You know what's funny, though? Because that is actually kind of close to some of the conversations I've actually heard in bars around here. So
Yeah.
It's fucking outstanding fun, man.
Everything is Obama's fault.
You should start.
Oh, God, yeah. There's no.
You should start an anti-Obama website with those kind of things on there. That'd be the funniest shit ever.
You can't, because anything you think is so off the wall that it's funny, like, oh, God. No, people actually do believe that. I'm afraid that I would do one and start something like that, tongue-in-cheek, and actually add to the problem because people would just buy right the fuck into it.
They'd be like using you as sources for their internet arguments.
Yeah.
You ever wonder why you can't find a lot of Native Americans/Indians around? Obama.
Right? Because Kenyans eat Native Americans.
Yeah.
That's like a little Indian veal.
So we have more questions. Oh, I did go trick or treating. I don't think I wasn't allowed to go trick or treating until like I was in like 5th grade or 6th grade, because my mom used to always say to me, "I don't want you going around being a beggar like the other kids." I didn't really know what getting candy from other people about being a beggar, but she wouldn't let me go for many years.
Wow,
I had a weird mom.
That's odd.
Yeah, that's how weird I am. Like, this is the upbringing I had.
Is that real? Is that real?
Yeah, that's
really for real.
For real.
Like we're all casting all the funny aside and everything. Is that real?
My mom would say, yeah. I really reveal true things about myself. I had a weird childhood.
No. Your mom just wanted you to take some pride in yourself.
You're not gonna be a fucking beggar like their beggar. And then eventually she's like, fine, whatever, just fucking go, whatever. It took till 6th grade, or like I think it was 5th or 6th grade before I was allowed to go. I don't know why she was okay with
giving out. That's too old to trick or treat then.
Yeah, but I was really excited to go.
Did she really say beggar, or did she say something like super racist and you just didn't want to say it?
No, both. But the beggar thing was really what she does for this. Like, she also
I would have gone out that whole time and been like, trick or please.
Oh, I don't mind. I don't mind admitting. So my mom she used to teach in the Bronx. And have you ever heard the Yiddish phrase, Yiddish word tzvatza?
Yes.
Okay. Jay, have you heard that before?
No.
Okay.
You didn't say matzah.
Svatsa. I think it's
Really?
yeah. You never heard
So
of
the
it?
Midwestern guy is the one with all the.
You're way more cultured than I thought.
The Midwestern guy. I've got 300 synonyms.
I've watched soap before.
Anyhow, so it's like a Yiddish, and like I don't know how racist the term actually is, but it could just mean black person. But anyhow, my mom taught, and like she in the Bronx, and all her students were black, and she'd just be like, "Oh, like the nicest Svatsa," like she talked about how good the nicest Svatsa she taught. I think she was a teacher. Like they all really liked her a lot, but
Until they found out what Svatsa meant.
I don't think she used the term at school. Yes, so that's part of my upbringing. So
Hitler had his Schwarzem that he marked everybody with.
So Grant writes, "What is the strongest alcoholic beverage you ever drank, and what was the experience like?"
I guess Bacardi 151. Unless you're talking about like drinks I made myself, because in college I took a super big gulp and did half Coke, half rum. So that's probably about 15 to 20 shots. I don't know, and it was one big drink, so I guess that would count as the strongest drink I've had.
Okay.
I blacked out for about 6 hours. That's how that went.
I was once I was on this trip, actually a trip to Israel. It's like this thing called Birthright. It's like this free trip they send Jews to Israel. And some girl who was kind of cute kept on the trip talking about how we had to do this like thing, this shot called something like girly name called Butterfly or something like silly like that. And we get to some bar to do it. And like, so I just assume it's like some mixed drink that she really wants to do. I do it without noticing that like she's like just takes like a little sip of it. It was like some ridiculous like 90 proof. And I almost just like I had it like for 10 minutes. I just held back trying to not throw up.
Yeah, that probably would have killed the moment.
Yeah. I don't know. That was mine. John?
Oh, the strongest thing? Oh, probably a lot like Jason. I mixed a 2-liter Dr. Pepper with a 2-liter of rum. I can't remember what it was. It's high school. And just mixed it up in a empty milk jug. Well, that was pretty potent. Actually, I have a friend who has perfected apple pie. You guys is that a thing that's everywhere, apple pie shots?
No.
What was an apple pie shot? Is it Drambuie or else?
It would be Everclear. The alcohol base would be Everclear, and in my friend's version, who has perfected it, Fireball whiskey. The whole idea of apple pie is that you create something that tastes and smells exactly like apple pie, but has this big Everclear cinnamon hit after you've taken the shot. I mean, it hits, it settles, and then you have that little bloom, like if you were really drinking well-made moonshine or even scotch, the way it's been described sometimes. And he has perfected it all the way down to getting cinnamon sticks, to do I boil the apples with my mix? Do I not? It's probably one of the stronger things I've ever drank, but it's not like the Dr. Pepper and the cheap rum where I fell down the bleachers during a fucking basketball game because I was all drunk drinking it out of an empty fucking milk jug I filled it in, It's the same purpose, but a lot more work into it and not so blackouty. But probably of everything, the strongest I've ever drank, best on the love that's in it. How was that? Did I keep anybody with me that whole time?
No.
Anybody scratching their head? Everybody head scratching?
You guys ever done a? I don't know how much you smoke weed, and I'm not a big smoker these days, but
I've been this whole time. Oh,
fantastic.
God.
Have you ever done a gravity? Have you ever done a gravity bong hit?
Yes.
Yeah. 2-liter
The first, so the first time I did one of those, that was like the strongest. Like I did that, not knowing like how strong they really are, but it sounded like, oh, it's cool, you have that, and I went to like being almost paralyzed afterwards.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Yeah, you're like it's like so fast. You're like you do it. I'm thinking about strong versus alcohol versus like you do it. You go from like normal to like I can barely function as a human being in like seconds.
My friend also had a 4-foot bong, and I took an entire 4-foot hit, and that was completely insane.
Is it bad that I then got in the car and drove home?
I think I just laid on the floor and laughed for about 20 minutes, and then got up and realized like how messed up I was.
Waleed writes a question about the Knicks. He thought we were doing the Knicks show. Rob writes, when I was growing up, I remember kids dressing up as monsters in classic Jason, Ghostface, and Michael Myers for Halloween. Now all you see is sports players, princesses, and ninjas, it seems. Do you think that everything is so watered down that it has affected Halloween as well? And Waleed writes, zombies. Don't forget zombies. And Rob writes, you don't even see those anymore with kids.
Pirates. Pirates. There's a lot of pirates.
So what do you think? Has our culture been so watered down that kids can't even dress up as like cool bad guys?
I think so. They're probably not even allowed to watch half of those movies.
Well, yeah. The thing is, those movies are also so old that the kids would like. There's no like good, like all the good like bad guys are so long ago. There's no like good like bad guy characters anymore.
That is true. Everything's like a handheld cam, like generic, like almost like reality TV horror movie.
Yeah, you can't really dress up as like those movies.
Oh, shaky cam found footage shit.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this exorcism really happened, or like, hey, we have these, whatever. Yeah, like we had this camera installed in our house, and look, there were ghosts there too.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's either like a possession, or like just a generic killer guy with a handheld cam. When was the last actual Scream? Was maybe the last one that you could actually dress up as? And that was like 20 years ago?
Saw was in there about the same time frame.
Yeah, but you can't dress up as like Saw.
Do you know what actually fucked me up? I want to share this with you guys real quick. Now that we've all kind of calmed down. We're all sitting here talking like a bunch of gentlemen, like gentlemen do when they've had a few drinks.
That's just because I ran out of rum and I haven't gotten up to refill.
Does this go back to when you were? Wait, does this go back to getting the soap pounded on you when you were in Webelow?
No, and now I'm gonna cry. Thanks for the fucking hazing, man. Thanks. I've kind of gotten away from all of it, but no, I'm still an 8th grader in high school, and you'll always be 2 years older than me.
Okay, what's your story?
I watched for the first time, and I would say probably 20 fucking years. I'm 43 years old, and probably the first time in 20 years I watched the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre Thursday night.
Mm-hmm.
And it fucked me up afterwards.
It's a crazy movie.
I put it in the background, but I had totally forgot just how fucked up that movie really was, and just how I can never think of her name. The chick in the fucking white bell-bottoms at the end, who basically spends the last 40 minutes of the fucking movie just screaming and trying to escape. But I mean, screaming the entire time. A very uncomfortable fucking movie. I went to bed. I'm 43 fucking years old. I went to bed, had a nightmare about it.
Well, the
like
best
a little
part
kid
of
nightmare. Like I woke up, reached over, put my arm around my wife, and I was like, "I'm in a bad dream."
Well, the best part about that dinner scene is that they cut her hand for real, and so she was really freaking out because she thought they were actually going to kill her.
When they had Grandpa suck her on her fucking finger and shit?
Yes, that was a real cut, and she was really like panicking.
What's amazing to me too is it was done with really. That's probably one of the goriest fucking scenes. Really, everything else is implied.
Right.
And I forgot that's what I'm susceptible to. Shit like that. That fucked with me. But I don't know how we got on movies,
Halloween
movies, but that's always. Oh, like nobody dresses up like anybody anymore, and yeah, nobody does. I mean, but yeah, or is the media and really film and everything actually older than Halloween is? I mean, people have dressed up like shit for Halloween a lot longer than there's been shit on a screen.
I think everything has gotten so generic. Everyone is like scared to offend anybody, or like everything has gotten very generic.
No, I just think it's what we said before. There just aren't any good characters to dress up as. Like, they don't have a generation like their generation's scariest character is Justin Bieber.
Yeah, they didn't have like a Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, if they had one, people would dress up like it.
And I would be happy to say that my oldest son and Jason have both dressed up like Raiden for Halloween.
Nice. Yeah, I was Raiden this year.
John,
that was this year, really?
Yeah, that was yesterday.
That was a pretty good costume.
Thank you. Because I remembered the Space Ghost and stuff. I thought that was one from you were Raiden this year.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
You go all out.
I wish I was there so I could just like high five the fuck out of your hand, bro. Fucking Raiden, man. Woo. Oh no, wait a minute, wrong coast. I don't know how to do New York shit, so yeah, like
We don't.
fucking ratings, man. Bow, pow, pow, pow.
My kids were Batman and Batgirl. That's the excitement. That was my excitement last night.
Batman and what?
Batgirl.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Hit Girl. I'm like, did you actually let your kids watch Kick-Ass?
Kick-Ass is a pretty good movie.
It is. It's just I wouldn't let.
It's a great movie.
Did you see Kick-Ass 2?
Yeah.
Is that a good movie?
Not really.
I didn't think so.
It does have Jim Carrey in it. That should tell you something.
He
now.
was the best part of Kick-Ass too.
Really?
Yeah, his character was awesome. The movie they tried to get to like the girls in high school, so they spend like 45 minutes on like high school drama. Like the girls don't like her, so she has to get her revenge because she likes this guy, and like that's not Hit Girl. That's
Okay,
just stupid.
let me ask you this. So you bring up Jim Carrey. Is there even a 1% chance Dumb and Dumber 2 is going to be decent?
I think there is.
Oh.
Really?
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I just had to make that pain noise.
Yeah, I saw the preview. The previews has no. I guess they're some movies have all the funny parts in the previews. They decided to put all the not funny parts in the previews. I guess.
I don't know. I
Well, if
just
that's the case, then I am going to go see it.
I don't know. Maybe we find
Right? It's all bundled at the theater. That's brilliant. That's the way they should do everything. They should show you the shittiest parts, so then you can find the fucking hidden gems.
Exactly. I mean, the movie's hilarious. I mean, the first one's hilarious. One of the great comedies of all time. But
You know, I hated that the first time, though. I absolutely hated it. It grew on me, and I do agree with you now. Had you talked to me first viewing in, or even maybe fifth or sixth, I would argue.
I'm glad we're not doing this podcast in 1994.
Right.
But
if we did, we'd be rich because we'd be the only podcast.
On the positive side, like it's a sequel that's so far afterwards, you think that like the only reason they're doing it is because they actually had a good idea.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm usually very negative about every movie ever, but for some reason I have a good feeling about this one.
Oh my God! See, you surprised me so much because of your views and your opinions on things, exactly like what fucking Dumb and Dumber 2 is going to be.
I know. I have this weird gut feeling that they're actually going to do it right.
Yeah, I do feel like
Did you have something happen recently in your life? Something that, because this is almost like a religious thing for you, I would think.
I think Jay bitches
that much
about
against your grain.
I think you bitch about every sequel or every time they remake a movie that doesn't need to be remade. I figured you'd be totally against this also.
I was when I first heard about it, and then I saw an extended preview at the movies, and I actually laughed a couple of times. It was different from the one that's airing on TV now.
Okay.
And there was actually a few funny parts.
The extended preview was, first of all, longer than the one airing on TV. Okay, so Jay, why don't you see it for us and give us a review next episode? Is it out yet?
I don't think so.
Okay, when it comes out, you will do a review on the show, and if it's good, we'll go see it as well.
All right, sounds good.
They're also remaking Ghostbusters, so it. John writes, "Are any of you guys into astronomy? If so, have you got a favorite planet?"
I mean, I find it very interesting, but I'm not like, fuck yeah, Jupiter.
Yeah, giant.
I mean, I am
I
wearing
want a
my
T-shirt that reads "Fuck yeah, Jupiter," though. That would be great.
It would. I mean, I am wearing my Neptune shirt right now, but I'm not like a huge fan.
I believe the only person that ever said "fuck yeah, Jupiter" was the guy that discovered it.
Yeah, probably. Mr. Jupiter, right?
Yo, Billy Jupiter. They're naming the planet after you. Fuck yeah, Jupiter.
It'd be great if they came out with a channel dedicated just to children alien shows throughout the solar system and called it Neptunes. No one, come on! I even laid it out there. I laid it there for you to walk all over. Neptunes.
You know, Mrs. Francine Pluto, your great grandfather discovered a rock. Be ashamed.
You lost me on that one.
Pluto, no longer a planet.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Isn't that weird? Our whole lives we grew up with like learning like there are 9 planets, and they're like, fuck you, it's 8 planets, morons.
Don't they keep going back and
But
forth?
they just brought Pluto back.
Yeah,
They're bringing the band together?
Yeah.
Yeah, Pluto's back now.
Yeah, you haven't been with it. They took backsies on their Pluto bashing.
Are there
No. I think now.
Wait a minute, no, I'm all confused because it was a planet, then it wasn't, and then it's just recently it was again.
I think right now it is.
Okay, I just want to make sure we were all on the same is or isn't page.
Yeah.
You know, in school when they teach you all the planets, they're like you have to memorize the order of the planets.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, could they teach you more useless information in school? You know, I knew Mercury was closer than Venus to the sun. And that's why I got the job.
I had that in my last interview.
I'm sorry, that's a very sore point for me because that is no, it's a very sore point for me.
That's how I lost my
because
house.
it's very cute. It's great. I just think I've seen on Facebook, you know, the greatest deposit of fucking intelligence on the internet. I see a lot of posts about shit like that as far as, you know, why should I have had to know this in school, or why did I have to learn Pythagoras' theorem, or because that's how people talk around here. I don't have time to translate. But that's basically, it's all usually it devolves in deer. But it's all around, why should I have to learn all of this, like math, this fancy math, and all of this? Because, you know what, in life you do end up using it. I work in a fucking dead-end job in a shithole where they were stupid enough to make me a boss so that I'll never, ever try and get away. But even in that stupid little backwoods shithole that I'm in, to get in there, I had to know fucking Pythagoras' theorem and shit like that. I had to know some basic fucking geometry. All I see on the internet is, well, they should have taught us how to pay taxes and how to take out a car loan and all that. And I'm like, well, shouldn't your parents have done that? I mean, Marc, are you going to let your kids be fucking retarded about the way the world actually works with money and everything else until they're ready to go out? Do you just expect the school to take care of that for them? And they shouldn't have to learn none of that fancy math or none of that? Two
things. First of all, my kids will be living off like retarded rampage money, so it won't matter.
Yes.
And number two, I love the fact that we're going to put this on the internet where anyone in the goddamn universe can find this, and you have no problem with someone at your job downloading it and hearing you calling it a dead-end piece of shit of a job. You're like, I have no issue with this online.
We high-five before we even get there. We high-five that in the parking lot. The whole joke about work is none of us have an alarm clock. We get up in the morning, we spin the cylinder, we pull the fucking trigger, it goes click, we hang our heads and go, fuck, we have to go to work.
It's the motto of our company, actually.
Pretty much their mission statement.
I'm a Dog writes, your favorite horror movies, your scariest moments in life.
Favorite horror movies.
Why don't we do, I guess, kids that, should we, I guess, do them together, Jay. What's your favorite horror movie, and what's your deepest, most emotional moment of your life?
I love Peter Jackson's early movies, like Dead Alive.
Great movie.
I like the Evil Dead movies. And Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, I really like for some reason.
Secrets in the Meat, Jim. Or was that 3? Which was the one where he had the coat hanger that he was lighting with the lighter?
Yes, that was 2, yes.
Yes, I agree with you there. For a sequel, that was damn fine.
I like the Nightmare on Elm Street series. Well, we'll go with that.
What was the one that gave you which one gave you nightmares, or how?
Exorcist and Gremlins. And Gremlins because I was like 5. So those Gremlins were like the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Pet Sematary gave me nightmares.
I saw
that at the theater. That was a great movie only for when he wakes up toward the end of the movie when his alarm goes off and rolls out of bed and smacks his head off the bedstand next to him, the nightstand. The whole rest of it contrived, and they fucked the whole story up, even though they had Herman Munster.
Wait, did you read the book first?
It was the first one I ever read when I was my daughter's age. I was 10 years old. read Pet Cemetery of all things with my book hoarder grandmother's house, at my book hoarder grandmother's house, and became a fan from there on out.
Your book hoarder?
Hoarder.
Oh, my grandmother was a
hoarder,
book hoarder. She would go,
hoarder.
Yes. No, she didn't put books in her dried up ancient vagina. She just bought them in big cardboard boxes for a nickel a piece at garage sales and stuck them in her garage. I read the whole Dune series because of my grandmother's book hoarding. Most every book that I ever really read was because of her book. And she hadn't read any of them. She didn't read. She was a bar whore at one point in her life, found Jesus, wanted to get off everything, started shuffling cards when she sat. So when she was sitting, surrounded by all of these books, as well as all of these different salt and pepper shakers and Avon cologne glass containers and shit like that, she would shuffle cards. I used to ask her, why do you do that? That's how I quit smoking and drinking. And I evidently started hoarding things like what I just mentioned. And back to Pet Cemetery, that was the first one I dug out of that collection. All hardback first editions, too, not just shit from garage sales, Book of the Month Club shit. No just paperback crap for Grandma all the time. And nobody's going to stop me, none of you. None of you are going to stop right now and be like, John, to interject.
John,
Nobody?
actually, Jay,
You.
I have a question, Jay. How much better would this podcast have been if it was just an hour and a half of us asking John questions about his life and upbringing?
Yeah, you have a very interesting life, John.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that shit's all made up, man.
They're all lies.
Just spur of the moment. What's interesting is I have a alcohol problem that lets me just spew that shit off the top of my brain.
The only thing that would be better, actually, if this was like video, like a full, like we interview you with video, just so we can put subtitles so people understand what you're talking about.
No, I'm not going to be the butt joke of a documentary.
I find everything you're saying about when
y'all get off my fucking property now. I see where you're going. Get off here now.
I just love the part about your grandmother.
No, she was a book hoarder from fucking hell. She was, and she was a hoarder of shit like I said, salt and pepper shakers. She had like all the little racist ones, like American Antiques Roadshow and all these other shows where people bring their crap out of their fucking garage and they're like, "What is this worth?" And like $20,000. Oh fuck! I didn't know that. She had all kinds of shit like that.
This paperclip is worth $1
It
million.
was all lost in the fire.
It was made by the ancient Indians. And ma'am, your statues, they're worth $1, and your family's awful human beings.
Pretty much, yes.
I was just commenting that your family sounds a lot more interesting than both of ours.
Oh, God, no. Everybody's family is interesting. Everybody's family is interesting to them because you all know each other's secrets. So to you, that shit's commonplace. If you really brought it up to anybody else, it's pretty fucking weird shit.
Yeah, that's a good point.
We met your family.
Like my family told me that if you want to be in Scouts, there's a section called Weeblos.
I think that's all our questions from the listeners, and I think we're kind of running low on time, Jay.
Yeah, well, I just want to say, when I was 5 and I saw the Gremlins, for some reason I thought I was going to see the Brementown Musicians, which is a bunch of instrument-playing animals. So you can imagine my shock and horror when green demons started running around. It was very traumatic.
Honey, gonna take the little one, the one that seems to look like scared a lot. Gonna take him to Gremlins. It'll be hilarious.
I think it was a joke.
I'm gonna drink before this movie. It'll be fucking hilarious.
My parents should have known because the teenager across the street offered to take me to the movies. So he was obviously trying to like fuck me up, and it totally worked. Guy was like 17. He's like, "Hey, I'll take your son to the movies. We'll go see a fun movie."
Did you guys?
That sounds like the beginning to a tragic story.
Yeah. Did he initiate you into the weep?
Oh my God! Wow. I actually felt defensive. I wanted to stop up and go, "No, Jason, no, don't go with him. It's not just the movie."
Yep, we sat front row and everything. It was very traumatic.
So this was just like some random 17-year-old kid that come in off the street, saw you outside playing. Was like,
No. He lived across the street from us, so like we knew him. It wasn't just like, ding dong. Hey, I'm just some random dude. taking your son to the movies. I promise I'll bring him back, not scarred for life.
I'm out there playing, buddy. Might like some popcorn, a place to sit down in the dark.
The younger boy, older teenager. The story of Jay's first time at the movies.
Ooh.
You guys have any stories you wanted to bring up? An hour and 40 minutes to our podcast.
God, we used to call that first break. Are we an hour and 40 in?
We're an hour and 25 minutes in.
25. I misunderstood. Yeah, that was about first break. But I've always been long-winded. I've tried to scale it back a bit, especially after, containing it within myself for the past couple of years and being incredibly fucked up when I actually remembered via you sending me, do you have call-in information? Yeah, which then it flashed me back, too. It flashed me back to the numerous meltdowns I constantly had. I mean, surely after all this time, you've gotten over that, right? I mean, just shit is what it is, or do you still not down and go into oh fuck mode?
So here's where the subtitles would be helpful. What are you talking about, John?
Podcasting. When he sent me the message saying, do you have the calling information tonight? I was just remembering all the times when I had done it before. Did I do all that prelude and intro in my head before? I didn't say it before.
Jay, am I the only one that wasn't following that?
No, I got lost during that as well.
Yeah, I know.
There was something.
Again, all you have to do is, Mark, you did it perfectly, but you didn't do it soon enough. You just go, John.
It's okay, John. I'm hugging you from across a bunch of states. I'm holding you. It's okay. It's like Good Will Hunting. I'm Robin Williams. You're Matt Damon.
All right, so I think we're about out of time. We try and do. I know this is a little different for John because this show was like literally 4 hours long, but we try and do an hour show. So.
This is 20 minutes. This is 20 minutes longer than our show and 17 hours shorter than yours.
Yeah.
It's bonus content for you, man. That's all it ever is.
So we should do this again sometime.
Yes,
because I thoroughly enjoyed this episode.
I had a bunch of ideas for the show. I think Jay had some ideas for the show. This was better than anything we would have come up with. So
yeah. All right.
I don't know. I was thinking. I was a little disappointed that we didn't touch on some of the fallacies that you wanted to point out.
When
you sent me what you were planning on doing as an outline for the show. Hopefully, my ramblings didn't cut.
Jay? What was your outline agenda for the show?
It was the same one I sent you.
Oh, you sent me one?
Yeah. I'm glad everyone pays attention to these things.
We were going to talk about Ebola?
Yeah.
Yes, there was going to be some Ebola, and also we would make up. Like, say, you, I, or Jason, we would make up some sort of weird thing that the crazy right wing might say.
Oh,
and
the ISIS.
Jason would read a real one.
He's talking about Infowars.
Infowars, yeah. I
thought you have a name for the bit? Okay, cool.
It's a website he gets it from.
Yeah, no, I literally get it from Infowars. I go on there and I troll the crazy conspiracy theories people.
Oh my God, you actually open the site on your computer?
Yeah, he opens it at work, actually. That's how little Jay cares. But it's a real site, and these are real comments from real crazy people.
I know. You'd be surprised. Most of those people like that I know in my real life.
Actually, maybe for next episode, Jay will do the Infowars, and how about you just write down real things people say around you?
Well, here's a teaser. Here's a quick teaser. I'm trying to prove to a younger guy that works for me how fucked up information just shared mouth to mouth is, period, be it whatever media. I asked a random group of people where I worked during break while we were outside smoking cigarettes. So did AIDS come from a guy having sex with a monkey? And invariably, the smarter ones are like, hold on for a second, they stopped. And they're like, well, and then tentatively, that's what I always heard. But yeah, nobody actually just came out and said, no, that's not true, and you're a fucking moron. So, yeah, sure. I would look forward to something like that. Perhaps I could even set up some audio.
That would be awesome.
That would be amazing. That would be absolutely.
Yeah, if I took some just out of context shit that people that I work with say about stuff like that.
I mean, it'd be like if you could just write it down, it'd be great. If you got the audio, holy fuck, that would be. We could do an entire episode about based on that.
Yeah,
we have a Midwestern informant.
There you go. And I want to actually put some nails in the coffin of how you all think we act out here in the middle of the country. Some of us are actually very level-headed, decent level-headed folk.
Yeah, I picture it basically like the South, but with warmer clothing.
Yeah, there's decent folk out here, and now we're going to listen to a quote from the nice woman down the street who makes apple pies, talk about how Obama was impossible for the concentration camps in Nazi Germany. Go.
She would do it without an accent, though. And holding an apple pie. Because, yeah, I as far as doing the voices, no, I'm not Rich fucking Little. Come on, anybody, Rich Little. I made a Rich Little reference. Nothing? No bells? You don't have bells set up for a Rich Little fucking reference?
Do you think we have anything set up for anything?
No, there should be a Rich Little. I want this added to the show. That's all I ever ask. Is if for no other reason you jot down a note somewhere or it sticks in your subconscious somewhere that even if I'm never ever on the show again or I ever even talk to you again, if you hear somebody make a Rich Little reference, you're going to want to ring a bell or hear a ding.
All right, sounds good. Since you want to do one InfoWars?
Sure.
I'll do an InfoWars.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
All right,
Sure.
so the article is about the Ebola crisis, and they're saying that it is too late to make a vaccine for the outbreak. They say it takes too long to develop, and so making a vaccine now is pointless.
Okay, so John, why don't you try? Do you want me to try first, or you want to try first?
No, you go ahead and go first, and I want to see where we're at with this.
I am going to assume it appeared in the South first. So this is a way to kill off Republicans by Obama. And there is already a vaccine because the person in New York is totally fine. So that's how. And then, they started experimenting with Africa because no one cares when those people die.
That's a good one.
Okay, your turn.
I can't now because I'm too scared. I mean, what some of the shit you were saying? Like,
It's not real. I'm trying to come up with what the crazy people on the website say.
woo!
Did you not explain the bit to him, Jay? We're trying to come up with the most
you scared the fuck out of me, Mark. You.
Okay, so the whole point is this: so basically, there's a classic one with Brad where they talk about a school shooting that happened, and the real comment is on the website. Someone is the school shootings are all a hoax. None of them are real. It's about Obama trying to wipe out guns in the U.S. by creating fake gun shootings. So I've heard enough of these that I want to say the most outlandish thing possible because usually Jay still beats me.
Do you want to hear?
And he's the one who's spouting the actual true one, right?
Right.
Correct?
Yes.
Jay reads the real one. We make up ones. Next time, let's explain how the game works to John instead of just scaring the shit out. These people seem
because now
they seem like
every
normal
time
folks.
we do this, do we have a safe word for this?
Actually, if we bring up the
Not
topic
Obama either.
and we bring up the topic of 9/11, Jay will just say stuff and you'll be like, "Holy shit!" And Jay's like, "No, it's not a game. That's what I believe."
Yeah, I believe in it.
Yeah, I meant to ask you that, McKenna. Is that really a thing, or are you tongue in cheek for real?
No, I really believe that.
Jay,
really? No, you don't. Fuck you. You don't believe that.
Just let's not go too far into this. I can't go down the rabbit hole of 9/11. Sorry for bringing it up. John, what's your think of the worst possible ridiculous explanation you can think of for the Ebola thing?
It was probably caused, I would think, by just the. I can't get over it. I'm going to say the Ebola was caused by the same folks who caused 9/11 to happen.
Okay, so now Jay will read something, a real comment he read on there. We're assuming it wasn't a tongue-in-cheek comment. What's the comment, Jay?
They already have the vaccine. Fact, by the way. They even have the cure for cancer. That was just the one comment, nice and simple. And then the comment, somebody commented on his comment and took it even farther and wrote, the polio vaccine has contained unrelated virus that causes childhood leukemia for decades, and the manufacturers knew about it, but it would have been too expensive to correct the problem. So we got two pretty good conspiracies in one comment. So they have the cure for cancer. They're just, they're holding back.
I like
and
the
causing
polio
childhood
causes
cancer as well.
Yeah, that was a
You have
pretty
the
good
cure
one.
in your call. Win-win.
You learn a lot reading these.
No, it drives me insane. I really, because along the lines of Ebola, like you're speaking of, I don't know if you've noticed, one of my passions, because I really don't give a fuck what the dumb population as a whole really thinks, unless it endangers the children. And I wish I could take the George Carlin philosophy and say, fuck the children, but I don't. It's anti-vaccination people. That's one that if we really could like play one of those, can you pull up an anti-vaxxer fucking quote real fact, and I can fact real quick, and I can throw out a fake one that I don't know. Nobody's saying stop, John. Nobody even.
We never know when you're going to completely derail or come up with something.
Neither do I.
brilliant.
That's why I need supervision.
Well, because sometimes halfway
God
through
damn it.
you come out with something really profound and it's worth it, and then other times you kind of just trail off. And
Do you know what's profound? The fact that there's stupid motherfuckers out there that don't believe in vaccinating their children because of shit that Jenny McCarthy said.
This is also why
Okay,
I
this
wish
is
I could have
we're
made
back
that
on
up. That sounds like me derailing right there.
We're
but
back
that's
on the
truth.
rails. You're not driving a train into New York and going a little faster on a turn here. Go, keep going.
All right, you know what? We're gonna do one. We got to end this show, so we're
Let's
gonna
end the show. What did we learn today?
What-
we always end the show with what did we learn today?
No, I'm never gonna find this comment again. So we're doing one more Infowars, and then we're ending
Sure.
the show.
Okay. Let's end with this, and then we'll fuck what we learned today. We didn't learn shit.
Okay. We never.
Where can I find this episode, Jason?
It'll be on iTunes. It'll be on the website brinkofsanityshow.com, and then on our Facebook group. And on
somewhere
Can I ask
in the Midwest.
Can I ask a big throwback question? Because we both did start roughly at the same time. I think you were a year in before I was fucking around with it.
Look how far Jay's come.
That's actually popped into my head recently within the past couple of weeks.
What?
Chicken farm. What was that? I mean, that was your handle on
email.
Ustream, I believe.
That was my first AOL Instant Messenger name.
Wow.
And so I just stuck with it.
And so, because you're a fan,
Yeah, it's my favorite lunch.
have you ever thought of maybe suing all states and or nationwide and Eli Manning for throwing the chicken parm in there, the chicken parm reference?
I
No?
I have
don't
no idea what you're talking about.
No, I don't either.
Really? The Peyton Manning commercial where everything that he does throughout the day, he sings to the tune of Nationwide is on your side.
Yeah, we know that part. What's the chicken parm?
Right. He takes a bite out of a fucking, really, I got to go that far. Chicken parm, you taste so good.
So
No?
I should sue him for the lyrics you just made up to a song?
No, that's in the commercial. Really? That's in the commercial. He takes a bite out of a fucking, looks like an Italian meatball sandwich, but he goes, chicken parm, you taste so good.
Really? I've never seen
Yes, that's
I've
in the
not seen
commercial.
that. Yeah.
That is what put you on my mind with that. That's why I was wanting to ask you, and perhaps maybe you could get some money from that.
that. Now you can see why John's shows are
I
four
want
and a
some
half hours
validation
long.
too. By the way, I would like to see somewhere on Facebook or anywhere when you've seen that commercial. I just want you to maybe put the post up. Oh fuck, John, you were right.
I will.
It's chicken parm, you taste so good.
Okay.
Surely you can Google that and find me.
Fox News
entire
will
content
interview
of the
a
breakdown
SEAL
of the
who
script
killed
for
Bin
that
Laden.
commercial.
Chicken parm, you taste so good was actually one of the nicest things his girlfriend ever said to him as well.
There you go.
This is the article. Despite Pentagon objections, Fox News will air the interview with a SEAL who killed Bin Laden.
Okay, so I'm going to go with the big reveal is it's an actual seal.
Insider reveals bin Laden actually vice president of the CIA.
All right, this is a real comment. Bin Laden died in December of 2001. A man with total renal failure cannot survive for 10 years. Dialysis is only a temporary measure to keep you alive for a short period of time until a kidney can be located that is compatible to be transplanted. He was not eligible as he had other health problems. I know this because after my uncle was diagnosed with renal failure, who was also put on dialysis, died about 3 months later. So a sample size of 1.
I have a question.
Right.
If you can,
Well,
if
his
you're a
uncle
leader
was
of a,
pretty-
if you're a leader of a terrorist organization and you're really rich, don't you get to put at the head of the line of those things?
Yeah, I'm not done. There was a report on the news shortly after 9/11 that bin Laden was admitted to the American hospital in Dubai and that he was a very sick man. I saw this on the news live. They also stated that he had renal failure. There was one particular photo of a bin Laden, in quotes, who was clearly not bin Laden. His face was different. He was younger. His nose was wider. His beard wasn't thin like bin Laden, and it wasn't gray anymore. All this was a man with a robe and a turban. This raid was conducted to boost Obama with all the controversy with his BC, so they needed to make Obama a hero and divert us. This Marine killed somebody, but it wasn't bin Laden. Not everyone with a beard wearing a robe and a turban is bin Laden. He probably thought it was, but it wasn't.
Is Alex bin Laden?
2 things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad you read that because that was amazing. And 2, wouldn't it be great if our country was so racist that we thought everyone with a beard and a turban was bin Laden?
I'm sure
and
everyone on this
every
site
week,
does.
and every week we were like, we got bin Laden. We got bin Laden. We're going around the world just killing people with beards and like, we got him. That dude is not. That wasn't even bin. That was not bin Laden. You can't just keep killing people.
It's kind of what we're doing.
It would just be great if we were that like ridiculously racist. I mean, we kind of, but yeah, dude, like some.
How long before we can actually kind of turn Abraham Lincoln's beard and his top hat into a terrorist beard and a turban?
If he was Democrat, it would have been done already.
Oh no, they won't even take him as a Republican. That wasn't. Yeah, I'm not even going to get into that discussion because that's an adult discussion there about how that channel started.
What you're saying?
I was
What you're
just going
saying is
with
that.
beard, turban, and vampires there.
Yeah, Abraham. When they were filming the movie Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, a drone comes over and just shoots the actor portraying him.
I have heard
short
Abraham Lincoln anti-Semite though. Heard that. Whew. For somebody who kind of had a lifestyle that wasn't exactly acceptable, he wasn't very tolerant of other folks.
Yeah. All right, so that is our show for today. Thank you for joining us. It was fun.
Yes, please come back the next episode.
Yeah, let's not wait 50 episops again.
Come.
Oh no,
you
that
have
was fun. Sorry, I was trash throughout this. We don't. My apologies to talk over everybody.
Yeah, I think Jay would agree. I think Jay's going to agree that we would love you to come back at any time you want.
Yeah, it was fun. If you like John, the last time he was on was episode 148, so you can check that out too.
Was I on that show, Jay?
I
don't think I could not have been.
I don't think you were now.
I think you have been on one though. I do remember you, Mark.
Why did you say my name at the end? Like I remember you, Mark.
Great soundbite if Jason decides to do like a new little ditty for the show. He can use that as a sample. You can put some sinister music behind it and everything. And if you haven't been tuning into the Brink of Sanity, you haven't been tuned in for
Mark.
You guys did episode 138 together.
There you go. What were the topics? What's your little write up?
Wasn't tipping involved in that? I don't know.
Okay, well, let's end the show, Jay.
Yeah. All right, goodbye.
Yeah,
everybody.
no kidding. I haven't eaten dinner yet, and we eat dinner at like 5 o'clock out here.
All right, goodbye, everybody.
Okay, John.
Yes, you all have a wonderful evening. Thanks for having me. Bye.
I'm gonna hang up this. Bye.
All right, everyone's hanging up.
It's over. It's mine. It's time. This is the end. Say goodbye.